because it said the sale is as is. So Beata, can you explain, like, from a legal standpoint, how that affects the buyer when they sign an as-is contract?
In a typical as-is transaction, when you sign the contract, you're saying that you're purchasing it in the condition that it's currently in. It doesn't automatically mean that you don't have the right to inspect it and find out what's wrong with the property, because most of the time, in order to do that, you have to sign a separate paragraph to waive your inspection, which you don't want to do. You want to know, especially if you're buying as-is, what you're purchasing. It's a fairly big investment, quite a few thousands of dollars to purchase. So you want to make sure you know, and you have someone, a professional, go into the property and assess it. All it means is the seller is making no representation that anything is working, not working, and if they have any issues with the property. So your inspector will be able to do that. The paragraph itself says that once you have finished the inspection, you either agree to move forward in an as-is, the way it's standing, or you're canceling the transaction. Sure, sometimes there's exceptions. There's some wiggle room in that, especially if it's a highly motivated seller. But if you want to move away from the transaction, if you're willing to risk the transaction, then you can ask for items because you discovered something that was really hidden and unknown to you. If you really want the property, and especially in a competitive market, it's really a choice to make. Is what you found on the inspection a deal breaker? Because a seller, if you request something on an as-is paragraph, can simply cancel the contract, not even allow you to withdraw your request. They can just say, I no longer want to sell to you, contract is canceled, you sign as-is, you made a request, you weren't supposed to, I will go move on to the next buyer. There are risks, obviously, on as-is, but that's why you have an inspector, you have someone professionally go through it, and you do your due diligence before you move forward with the transaction.
And that means that you're getting from the inspector, let's say he said, hey, I think the roof is at its life end, get a roof inspector. So a roofer comes out and says, yeah, this is at its life end, a new roof is $10,000. And say you do a sewer scope and there's a problem with the sewer and that's $5,000. Well, at least you know that you're buying the home and it does need $15,000 worth of work. But the seller's not going to do anything typically because you agreed to buy it as is. And in these competitive markets, that's really all I'm seeing.
Correct.
I mean, the sellers, they're not really doing anything because they have multiple offers. They'll start with your offer if you're highest and best or whatever, but if you start asking for things, they're going to go to the next offer because someone's not going to ask for anything. So if you're going to take a house as is, while you should be able to inspect it, it doesn't mean that they're going to now start to give you seller credits and such. So that's a little bit about, the as is, paragraph. When you sign as is, where is, that's kind of what it's called. While you still should be able to inspect it, it doesn't mean they're going to help you fix anything or give you any type of credits.
Remember, I'm here for all your mortgage needs. While I do renovation lending, I also do move-in ready. So if you're unsure whether you want to get a fixer-upper or a move-in ready, I can handle both. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more news, market updates, and opportunities to save money.